so slow. Summarizing what we had before was we had an experiment set with a slice, and on that slice we had added the aggregate managers for virtual resources and OpenFlow resources. Now I will show how to request resources from these aggregate managers, and how the island manager can accept or deny the request of those resources. We can start with requesting a virtual machine on the experience. It's a little bit slow, sorry. The idea is that every time a user requests for some kind of resource, that request has to be accepted or denied by the island manager. In the case of the virtual resources, the virtual machines, we developed a policy engine that you can define rules to automatically accept or deny those requests. So I will try to give a very quick view, if it loads, of how this policy engine works. Then we will request for a virtual machine, and then we will show how to request an OpenFlow resource, if it works. It's a little bit slow.
So this is the user view, right? So this.
In experience, yes, we are now going to see the user. But in BT manager and Optim manager, it's only for managers.
Sure.
Okay. Here, this is the virtual VM manager. In this case, in Ophelia, we have two servers. Policy manager define rules of accepting or denying requests of virtual machines. The idea is to define a set of rules like IP tables that define the conditions that are evaluated in the request, and you define in that rule if this condition is accomplished, you accept or deny the request. The rules have an order to be applied, and there is a default policy of accepting or deny in case no rule is matched with the request. In this case, we only have one rule. We will create a new one and show how to do it. In advance, the rule is formed by a regular expression and a value return. It's always accept or deny. That means that if the regular expression is accomplished, then you accept or deny the request. There are two types of rules. That terminal means that when you evaluate this rule, if it's matched, you finish the loop of evaluating rules. So once a terminal rule is accomplished, you don't evaluate the rest. And non-terminal means that you continue evaluating. And there are a kind of rules that can do actions. That means that if it's accomplished, instead of returning a value, you can evaluate it or something like this. You can also find a message that will be returned in case the rule is not accepted. So to know what is it about. To create a rule, you have two methods using this a drag and drop part where we find a condition and operators of and or not. And there's an expert mode, advanced mode, where you write directly the rule. We will explain this drag and drop. It's a little bit not tricky, but it has more options. First of all, you have to create a condition, which is the condition you will evaluate in the request of the user. Here you have a list of the values that can be evaluated. In this case, we can define, for example, a condition about the memory the user is requesting for the virtual machine. And you can define, for example, that if the user requests more than 256 megas, the condition you are defining, you have here. This is a simple condition. You could create a more complex condition saying that if the user is requiring for more than 250 megabytes of memory in the virtual machine, and any other condition that you can define, this is a more complex condition that you will evaluate. The process will be the same. And the size of the hard disk is also bigger than 500 megabytes. So, in this case, you have to move the condition to it will be a bigger, more complex condition. But in this moment, for the example, we will keep a simple condition just to when we do the request, evaluate it. Then we will say that if the user requests more than this memory, we will deny the request. It's a terminal, so once it is evaluated, it is accomplished, we will not evaluate another rule, and we will not perform any action. And we will return the message.
Sorry.
And
blame the J2 guys.
Okay. If you see here, while we are building the rule in this drag and drop version, in the advanced mode is building. This is how the rule is stored in the database. We will see it later when we talk about the architecture. But the idea is that this is the rule that is evaluated. Then we generate the rule, and we will see in the previous rule table that we have this new rule here. You can later edit a rule or delete if you don't want it. So easy as that. So in this case, we have in the VT manager define a rule, and then if we come back on the expedient on the user point of view, example, if in a project the user makes a request of a virtual machine with more than 256 megabytes, the request will be denied. If the rules are accomplished, then it will be accepted. So I think denied. It's okay. We'll make an example. If we inside the slice that we have created before. This is a different slide than the other one because we are in a different environment. But you will see if it loads. We will try to.
I told testing server actually this one.
Okay. Yes. Here you can see, as I commented before, you have aggregate managers from the different locations. You can see they are grouped in different areas. So
they are actually connected
yeah,
to those.
the switches we have seen before. Switches from I think that's Zurich. The get from again are connected to Zurich. And there are, we have servers, and actually they are connected to the other switches, but in this case it doesn't matter. Here, this is the virtualization, this is what the user.
So this is what the administrator does.
No, we are in
so the user does.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The user does
the
topology and everything.
Exactly.
No. What was your question?
About the topology of the.
This is the topology the user sees. Yeah.
But the administrator has to set this up.
We have set up when we define the aggregate managers on the yesterday session, when we define the Optim manager and for example, when we added servers to the virtual.
Right. So there is the request from the user that comes in on paper, basically, or something. Or
No.
Yeah.
This is a user set an experiment. We will now request for a virtual machine inside one of the servers, and then this request is
sorry for a minute. This is the superset of the resources that are exposed by. So the user can request resources, meaning VMs and flow space on top of the network topology, using this visualized way of.
Yes, a viewer.
The point that this moment have to be jumping from a manager to the user point of view, and it's a little bit complicated. The case is that in this environment, we have a virtual aggregate manager that has 3 servers. That's the one we saw in the topology. These are the names of the servers, and in this case, the user can ask for create a virtual machine. Okay.
And we have the code in a different branch.
How users
You
define.
can show it in your VM if you have it.
Oh.
At least the
We'll come back to the experience. The user, in this case, just has to define a name for the VM, the amount of memory, and then the type of image. In this case, we only have, as we explained yesterday, we only have one type of VM image, but the experience is prepared to offer several images. When with the down button, in this case, the user is requesting for a VM with kind of characteristics, and then this request would be evaluated in the policy engine that I showed before, and depending if the conditions are accomplished or not, the request would be accepted or denied.
this will not work.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's not connected to the server.
testing fast.
Guys from Amherst are complaining that the connection is bad, like it's freezing and so I don't know. Yeah, if someone is downloading or uploading or something, maybe
We could try it here. So
we'll give it a try.
yeah.
Maybe it's place local. Maybe it's a local branch.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it does it.
Just like
Could be your machine. Thanks to the sector. That thing has nothing to do with it.
let's try. We will try another. Works. Well, what I was saying that the idea with the OpenFlow resources is similar to the virtual resources, but in this case the island manager has to manually approve or deny or modify the request for those kind of resources. Let's see if I can show un poco aquí. No. In this case, well, let's imagine that a user has requested OpenFlow resources. We will try to show how to do it later, but the idea from the point of view of the administrator is that inside this is the opt-in manager. Okay. You have to, in this section, administrator flow space, add a role. This means that you will see now a list of all the requested flow spaces, and here you can see all the in the experience from different users. You have here a list of, this is the first part is the name of the project, and the second one is the name of the slice inside the project. Let me see. For example, this same one. When you select a request for a flow space here, you can see the details in this window, where it says the name, as I said, the name of the project, a description, a name, and a description of the flow space requested. In this case, it's a little bit tricky, but this is the identification of a switch. It's asking for a connection between this with the VLAN ID 1 and this is the for different switches. This would be the definition of the flow space. It's not very user friendly, but and he's requesting for a VLAN tag number 1. then here is where the administrator can modify the request to match the accepted values. You can redefine the MAC address, the source MAC address or destination, the ports, the IP addresses, and also the VLAN over which this flow space will work. This is the part where you can set. Usually you give one, and you have here a list of the VLANs already allocated, which means that VLANs that you cannot provide to the user.
So this is the admin view. Only the admin can do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are on.
So once the admin received the request,
exactly.
then all right. So
Yeah,
you have to log in and do it. So.
He sees what the user is asking for, and he decides if he can he's asking or limiting, constraining some parameters.
So at this stage, the administrator has to have the knowledge about the existing slides and just to adjust the request to the resources available and stuff like
that. But once the administrator have defined redefined the flow space the user was requesting, just has to add the rule, and then the rule is added, and you can define a priority for this rule, as we said before in the BT manager. For the policy engine, the rules have an order in which are evaluated. Slowly, let's try in the meanwhile. No? Vale. It's not the best day for that. We have come back to the expedient, to the user point of view.
Yeah, an easy way to know is when it says expedient, then it's probably the user. And you also can log in that portal as root admin.
On this slide, let's try to see if we can show how a user requests for a flow space. Here, in one of the OpenFlow aggregate managers, you can book for OpenFlow resources.
You need to set up a controller first.
Yeah, I forgot. No, pero lo puedo hacer una request antes de...
It doesn't allow. You can
No? Okay. I forgot.
You need to, as user, you need to set up a controller, unless there is no. Because if you don't set up a controller, why you want that flow space? So the workflow is
exactly. So you have to request the VM and set up the.
Well, you can do that. Well,
or
it show you how you set up a controller as user.
It could be an internal controller somewhere.
As long as you have a public IP and port.
So that's what you have to define.
Okay, just giving